Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at tablemon. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna continue with our gameplay videos once per week. We're gonna be taking a look at one of the most talked about decks, or one of the hottest decks in the online meta, or the latest regional winner perhaps. Sometimes we'll have double videos, but for this week we're gonna be playing with one of the best decks in the current format, Dragapult Dusknoir. Now this is Justin Newdorf's second place deck from the World Championships. It's very straightforward, very powerful. Of course, the 4-4-3 straight up Dragapult line, it's your main attacker, and Drakloak's Recon Directive ability of course is very powerful. Lets you access extra cards during your turn so that you can pull off multiple combo pieces as you go. And then we have the support of the Dusknoir line with that fantastic Cursed Blast ability, which really helps Dragapult stand out, and that price you end up giving up can sometimes help you with the counter catcher by that getting activated and you being able to bring something up whilst lending you extra damage counters everywhere on the field. Especially Dusclops in the early games, if you slow down everything with Body's Ichi Pollen, Dusclops can sometimes lend itself to KOing a Ralton, a Kirlia for example, or an opposing Drakloak that has energy, and a Dreepy as well on the bench that has energy. And so these extra damage counters are just so incredibly useful. And then Hawlucha's flying entry ability is also very crucial to help Dragapult in placing those damage counters and allowing it to just round out those Phantom Dive damage counter placement, right? Phantom Dive places 6 damage counters. Usually that's going to be one short of knocking out most of the most important basic Pokemon, such as Dreepy, such as Charmander, such as Ralts. But with Hawlucha's flying entry, you can actually shore that up without giving an extra price card. And then we have the basic EXs package with Latias EX giving free retreat to our Pokemon, Bloodmoon Ursaluna as a much more powerful threat than a Dragapult EX because it does that little bit of extra damage, and towards the end of the game doesn't need anything set up around it. Basically you just attach and swing with that Bloodmoon attack. And then of course Fezandipiti EX to draw extra cards and find ourselves extra resources whenever possible. And finally we have Munkidori, the star of the format. Basically if you're not running a Munkidori, you're probably doing it wrong, and to help counteract some of your opponent's Munkidoris, that's pretty great. And then if at some point you find yourself with that extra energy attachment along the way, having a Drainer Brain to heal 30 damage from your side of the board and give you extra damage counters on your opponent's side of the board, of course, is very useful. Now the supporter lineup has 4 research, 4 Iono, 2 Boss's Orders, and 2 Hilda, the new supporter from Black Bolt and White Flare. I guess new is no longer relevant because the set has been out for a while, and Hilda letting you search for that very clutch Neo Upper Energy Ace Spec is so good alongside either your Dragapult or a Drakloak or a Dusklops or a Dusknoir. Any of those are very good. Then we have maximum consistency with a 4 Poffin, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Night Stretcher, as well as a single copy of Nest Ball, and then triple counter catcher because this deck does take a long time to set up, does take a little bit, and so usually you're going to be behind in prizes, and you want to have those big powerful turns where you go counter catcher Iono and get multiple knockouts or trap something or attack the right Pokemon at the right time. And with all the disruption from Budew and Iono and counter catcher and the damage counter placement with Dusknoir, we have Jamming Tower as well to shut down important tool cards such as Technical Machine Evolution, such as Max Belt in Charizard, such as the ever popular Air Balloon as well, Rigid Bands, Technical Machine Devolution as well. So many very powerful tools going around, and Jamming Tower just shuts those down immediately. And then we have a nice array of energy, 3 Luminous, 3 basic energies, 2 Psychic, 1 Fire, and the Neo Upper Energy that I mentioned as our ace pick of choice to be able to power up a Dragapult out of the blue in case the one that we had got knocked out, or we missed a few energy along the way in the beginning and we want to get that Dragapult DX using Phantom Dive as soon as we can. So that's going to be the deck. Let's jump into some games, see how we fare with it. Alright, here we go. So we are clearly up against Raging Bolt, who surprisingly chose to go second. I guess maybe not so surprisingly. I fully expect aggression from my opponent here, so I'm just gonna prepare for that. Assume my Budew is gonna get knocked out and just have the other Budew ready to go. I have a pretty good follow-up hand to this. If my opponent does knock out the Budew, I can bench Fezandipiti, I can counter-catcher to stall, along with HE Pollen, and evolve 2 of my basic Pokemon now. The immediate bench of the Squawk does tell us a lot about my opponent's plans, I guess. Likely no Noctowl, based on the fact that there's Squawk. We just saw the Turo get discarded. I guess that doesn't tell me exactly what they might be up against. They do only discard a Grass Energy, no Lightning or Fighting. So it basically comes down to Crispin if they want to have some sort of aggression. That Earthen Vessel and the benching of the Raging Bolt is definitely scary though. Could lead to the Duskull getting targeted down. They do get the Teal Mask Ogerpon. And we know in their hand they have 2 Grass Energies. What the heck is this? Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, or shuffle them and put them in the bottom. I think they chose to put them at the bottom. Okay, I mean, sure, that gets you closer to the Crispin or the Sada that is now live thanks to the fact that they have a Lightning Energy in their discard pile. They did have to discard a Sada though, and they do attach and they go for the Burst Roar. So far so good. They didn't get to attack. They lost a few key resources in the Sada, the Turo, the Stretcher, and more importantly the Superior Energy Retrieval. So that's something to keep in mind. Now I will be able to evolve a lot of these Pokemon. I will lose a counter catcher. I'm completely okay with that. Maybe discarding the Fezandipiti is actually better to just not have a 2-price Pokemon in play already. Maybe that would have been potentially important. Night Stretcher could also be good. Probably not right now though. I think just getting into another Drakloak is the priority. So 2 Psychic Energies are not really helpful. Having a leftover Dreepy is completely fine. That's not the card I want. I do have another Dreepy available if I need to. Duskull and Dusknoir are priced, however. So that's important to note. And then also important to note, there is no supporter priced, actually. Interesting, okay. So then, yeah, the Neo Upper Energy is actually not available. So once again, every energy is going to be super clutch now. With the HE Pollen, we will be blocking any Prime Catcher shenanigans, but we are not blocking the... So I chose Munkidori expecting to Iono next turn and put that at the bottom. I mean, the Drakloak is also at the bottom, right? But it's less at the bottom. But anyways, my opponent needs raw Fighting Energy and Boss's Orders to go after my Drakloak. They no longer have a good threat. What is that? Yep, that's a Boss's Orders. Alright, they just have it. That's to be expected, I guess. Sure. Just raw. I mean, I have to assume they play at least 2 Boss's Orders. Anyways, it happens. It's part of the game. It is what it is. We'll just keep using HE Pollen. Now I'm definitely getting punished for the double HE Pollen benching, which might have been a little too cautious, if you will. Now, I will be able to evolve this Drakloak to protect it from the possible Raging Bolt KO. So I think that's definitely what I'm gonna go for. I will play the Stadium. I don't really care. I mean, do I care? 2 Dreepies down is not great. Alright, we'll just play the Stadium, prevent them from benching anything else, and we will go Iono, and then we will draw 3. We are looking for a Dreepy bench, but more importantly than anything, we are looking for an energy to attach this turn. Now, I didn't put any at the bottom, so I'm not going to shuffle my deck. I do manage to find an energy pretty nicely, and we are able to get into this Dreepy and do another fabulous 10 damage with HE Pollen. So, not too bad. If I had the Dusknoir available, I could do a potential 3-price turn. 6-price turn after attacking and whatnot, but it's not looking too great for now. And because I priced my Neo Upper Energy, I might have to delay my attack by a little bit, as I want to have 3 energy in play before I start attacking. My opponent does manage to find the Crispin to continue applying pressure. That does mean the Budew will go down. That is okay. We will be able to Iono once again, get closer to other energies, get closer to other Drakloaks, and make sure we have energy down as much as possible. The opponent's not committing any energy to the baby Raging Bolt, which we are very, very happy to see. And yeah, just Bellowing Thunder, probably getting rid of 1 grass from this Ogerpon, maybe? That would be my guess. Yep, that is correct. So I could very aggressively retaliate with Dusclops 5 on here, Dragapult KO. And so like that's a possible thing I can do. It's also on the riskier side, I want to say. Now I know I'm closer to the Drakloaks, so I'm not gonna shuffle the deck yet. Hilda is very nice to grab. Alright. Definitely would have liked to find a Night Stretcher. That's something I would have loved to see here. Alright, I mean, okay, so am I not expecting another boss's orders from my opponent? That's the thing, right? I kind of want to make them whiff if possible. This is not great. Okay, so everything can free retreat, so the counter catcher doesn't really matter. So I think I'll definitely attach here. Now, if I'm 3 prizes behind, that's just really bad. I think it'll... Well, actually, no. That's actually still really bad. But I just committed the energy, so I can't do anything about it. So I'm just thinking if it's worth it to, like, give up on the Fez, make them discard more energy perhaps. The answer is probably not, but I'm just wondering. Just wondering. I have nothing else I can search for. I only have 2 Night Stretchers in there. I priced 2 Night Stretchers as well, okay. I wish Itchy Pollen did 10 more damage, but that's okay. Yeah, it's gonna come down to Ionos. That's exactly, that's the only thing it's gonna come down to. Can they get enough energy right now and find something good after the Iono next turn? Now, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to use Dusclops at all. Dusknoir, really. Unless they just like don't attach anything at all right now and they just KO the Budew. The Bloodmoon Ursaluna is bad news. That's for sure. If they don't get an energy down and they just take the knockout, there is a universe where they could whiff knockout on my Dragapult, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, I mean, they haven't Sada, so if I own, like, I know they don't have Sada right now, or they probably don't, otherwise they would have played it. So my Sada will probably get them closer to a Sada as well, but it is what it is. Now, if I play a Stadium, they're just gonna get rid of the Squawk. That's not something I really want, so I'm just gonna go ahead and attach here. And honestly, I mean, I have enough stuff on the bench that can be KO'd that I might as well just bench these dudes for the future. And then I really think, okay, I'm gonna Poffin to fail it so it's not cycling through the deck. And then it's just Iono, right? Iono into 6 cards, into 3, into 1 more with Drakloak. And then I don't take the knockout and try to go for like a cute, powerful play. And if somehow they whiff knockout on my Dragapult, I could end up... Well, probably not. I don't think I could win in 2 turns. But if they don't knock out my Dragapult, then I'm golden. I definitely need to Iono them next turn again, though. But yeah, I cannot use Dusclops at all. So that could actually be a liability. So let's go 4 here. And then... I mean, does it matter on the Squawk? I'm just trying to think. This will have 10 HP left. If I put them on the Squawk... No, I don't think it matters. Okay, so my current plan is... If I can free up the Dusclops, if my opponent doesn't KO me, and I can free up the Dusknoir, I win. Next turn. If I don't, then I probably still win, because I just take 4 and they're at 3 and I just win. So it should be fine. Comes down to what they drew off of the 3 cards. I have a knack that I probably put them closer to a Sada that they need. Not taking a knockout. I mean, I couldn't have taken a knockout anyways. They do go for the deduction kit. My goodness. What on earth is that? I mean, it's clearly going to help them. They do put 3 more cards to the bottom. They will go for the Night Stretcher for the fighting. That's 280. We're still 1 short. And they have the boss. So, okay. Alright. I mean, the Fez was always there. There was no way to remove that. So they do manage the 2-price knockout. It will cost them... It won't cost them all their energy. It does leave 1 on... If they're smart, they will leave 1 on the Ogerpon, right? And that could open up a possibility where they can KO a single prizer with Ogerpon and 2 grass. And another Ghost effect, which we have not seen their A spec. They did play the 2 bosses orders that we talked about earlier. Alright, so... I mean, unfortunately, this game could come down to Prime Catcher with Bloodmoon KO. I mean, I could not take a price card and just Iono them. I think that's the smartest move, honestly. Put them to 1, not take a price card, and hope for the best. I really think that's the play here. And... Catcher. Okay, I'm gonna get the Fez back. Yeah, I really think not KOing here is the way to go. So we're gonna bench that friend. I mean, energy doesn't really matter anymore. I guess I should attach to Dusclops in case they bring that up to try to stall me out. So that's where the energy seems most important. And I am putting 3 ghosting effects to the bottom of the deck, so I hope I can draw something good to shuffle the deck. Okay, I definitely do. So that's, and I mean, I already have the ghosting effect anyways. Just gonna get rid of those. And yeah, I mean, it comes down to, can my opponent get a prize card? I can't evolve the Dusclops. I don't think I can get rid of the Dusclops anyways, and if I play a stadium, then they can get rid of things, so that's why, like, if I didn't have the Dusclops, I could have evolved into Dragapult and force more out of them. I'm gonna keep their research, because if they Iono me and I have 8 cards, I will definitely be able to, like, if somehow they Iono, I will be able to reach the other counter catcher guaranteed. I mean, and I have boss near the top, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh wait, no, never mind. I needed that counter catcher. No, that's fine, that's fine. I should be able to access a boss or a counter catcher. Okay, so what do I attack? I guess it's the blood. No, it's gonna be something that has 210, right? So it's gonna be the Latias. I'm pretty sure. All right. So here goes nothing. 200 damage, and then all 6 on the Squawky. And that sets up game next turn with Hawlucha plus boss. I Iono'd them to 1. They have only played 1 Sada, I think. So they have never Sada throughout the game. They only Crispin. So the chance of them having Sada, yeah, it's pretty decent. So that's 2 energy. Would come down to Prime Catcher. Can they find a Retrieval? Raw Energy. You go Ultra Ball, probably for Mew? EX, I'm guessing. That's a second copy of Baby Raging Bolt. So not the most orthodox Raging Bolt deck. They should only have like 1 of each energy left. 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe only 1 of these. They did lose the Superior Energy Ball and they are down 2 Night Stretchers. Oh my god, no way. They have the Vessel. No. You're actually joking. Iono to 1, found the Sada, found the Vessel, into knockout my Dragapult. Because the turn before they had Boss KO Fez. I mean, what can you do? What can you do against that? The early game, I just had to weather the storm and I had to survive, right? And I got it to the point where I had game next turn. I mean, I didn't have game in hand because I mistakenly didn't grab the counter catcher, but I'm pretty sure I have access to a boss or a counter catcher. And I could also Ultra Ball to Thin and I have the Drakloak, right? So I'm pretty sure I had it. And I also had Night Stretcher to get 4 prizes, get resources out of the... anyways, it is what it is. Unfortunate and not unfortunate. I mean, my opponent never Sada, right? So they were likely going to Sada after so many Ionos. They found the Sada of the Iono to 1 and they were able to... They had just enough resources to win the game. Somehow they have second Baby Raging Bolt in there. I mean, they don't have the Noctowl engine, so they have a lot of pieces. But yeah, let's jump into another game. All right. Oh my god. I was gonna say probably up against Raging Bolt, but for some reason they're playing Grabber, so never, and they have a Darkness Energy, so never mind. I have absolutely no clue what we are up against. They didn't. Oh my gosh, and I priced to Dreepy. Rendering my second Buddy-Buddy Poffin quite useless. So, I mean, we know their hand, at least initially, isn't super great. So I think I'm gonna take... Well, I was thinking of not Ionoing with the information that I had that my opponent didn't have any like playable item cards like Nest Ball, Poffin, etc. But I'm gonna HE Pollen anyways, then might as well still prevent those cards from being played. And I have no information on the supporter they had or didn't have, right? I did know they didn't have probably any other Pokemon to attach energy to, and that's a Fire Energy, so I still have no idea what I'm up against. They choose to evolve into Noctowl, protecting it from getting KO'd by Drakloak, but I actually just win now with Dusclops 5 damage counters into the Bite attack. I'm gonna win with Bite instead of evolving into the Drakloak. This is so silly. Obviously not a meaningful game, but I don't even know if it was the power of HE Pollen. And yeah, my opponent concedes. They don't even wait to see if I have the energy or not. All right, so looks like we're up against a Noctowl based deck. Raging Bolt, Evolutions, one of the two. We're probably about to find out which one it is, depending on what my opponent discards, depending on what they search for. We will be able to have a little bit of extra information on what they are planning. It is Evolutions, so the threat of Sylveon EX is very present. Lily's Clefairy EX as well. We're gonna have to navigate this very, very carefully as much as we can. The HE Pollen will certainly be useful. We also need to be careful of the Angelite. I will say some of the evolutions lists from NAIC and I want to say from Worlds didn't have Sylveon EX at all, which seems extremely weird to me overall, but hey. There's the water pond. That's not very nice. We see the Eevee, we see the attachment. My opponent committing this hard to the water ogre pond is a little scary. Ionoing my opponent is also pretty scary. Like, they have a 2-card hand. Is one of those Noctowl? And they're gonna go Crispin, Tool, win the game if I don't bench Fez? Sure, I'll Iono. I'm not super happy about it. Maybe I should have benched Fez as well. But, I mean, this is what we're looking for, the Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Let's get that. I think I want to stabilize as much as possible before I commit to anything else. And we'll see if the HU Pollen does any damage. If they played it as if they had access to a Noctowl, right? So maybe this took away the Noctowl. Maybe this gave them everything. We really don't know. It was a big risk. And if I bench Fez, then and they do get it, I don't lose. But I have a single Fez in play. And that's it. And that's not a great spot to be in. Whereas do have the Crispin already, so they are going to threaten the Torrential Pump the next turn, and they're gonna sub here to stop me from retreating, right? Which is honestly okay. If I get double Drakloak with energy each, that's ideal. If I get triple Drakloak, that's even better. That definitely helps. So I also want to spread the energy, of course. That's pretty key. And then I think here I'm just gonna research. My opponent didn't have like a super impactful turn overall, and this is great. I maximize the chances of me getting the triple Drakloak, and that's exactly what I got, right? So the Recon Directive, I might have to spend the Ultra Ball. I really like keeping the Hilda in case my opponent does have boss KO. The 2 Drakloaks with energy, then I can Hilda for the energy, which honestly I haven't even searched if it's available. I'm just assuming it is. And yeah, I think these are the 2 cards to discard. Let's check for the A-Spec. That could end up being my saving grace, and it is not, in fact, available. So let's hope my opponent doesn't have boss attach. That's the plan. Hoping for the best. And that's it. Hope they don't have boss energy. We don't know if they have either of those cards at the moment. And they can't play Earthen Vessel to search for energy. Evolutions is also not super known for playing a bunch of energies. But, of course, they do have it. So I don't know, might have taken away the energy or not. I really don't know. This is pretty unfortunate. My opponents just keep having the knots over and over in the Raging Bolt game, in this game as well. Ugh. And I priced the Neo Upper, right? If I could just respond with a Dragapult here, I'd be fine. Yeah, I'd honestly be completely fine. But I cannot, because the silly thing is priced, so... Anyways, so let's go ahead and grab an Ultra Ball, probably for Fezandipiti. Go ahead and grab a Hilda for a discardable Pokemon, such as the Drakloak. Probably Pulse and the Fire. Alright, so let's evolve here. Let's definitely attach here. Let's evolve to protect. And let's go Ultra Ball. I definitely want to Iono them sometime soon. Just gonna get rid of these 2. So I want to get access to Fez. Yeah, a few more cards right here. And see what we get. But like, the crazy part is that they're doing this without Noctowl, right? Like, if they were going Noctowl for the 2 cards, sure. But they're doing it without the Noctowl. That's the really, really impressive part. And by impressive, I mean frustrating. All right. Let's see Chipotle a third time. It is what it is. And we'll see what happens next turn. Jamming Tower. I mean, I debated playing it to potentially stop the Sparkling Crystal. We do see the Flareon finally come into action. And yeah. Dang, it's rough. This has been rough. Alright. I mean, this is still very winnable though. Like, worst case scenarios have happened. I got, for my opponent and for myself, right? I got triple to play around this, and then they got the boss, and now they have this. I mean, this is honestly not the worst. They have no presence, they can't play item cards, and I have, if I want to, Iono, or I can just double knockout Hoot Hoot. And honestly, that seems a way better option. Just gonna go double knockout Hoot Hoot, eliminate any possibility of Noctowl now that I am breaking the item lock. It does give them an extra price card, which is not ideal, of course. But it is what it is. So let's boss this Hoot Hoot. We take away their draw potential. Now let's play this, sure. And we'll go ahead and Phantom Dive. 2 damage counters here. And then 4 damage counters here. It doesn't really do much. I'll do 1 on Fan Rotom to put in range. And then sure, I'll do the rest there. And then we know they have an Ogerpon in their hand. Now if they have Noctowls, it doesn't matter. I don't really think I'll have another opportunity to use another Dusknoir. I should probably want to focus on trying to get another Dragapult going at some point. As we see the Mew, as we see the Latias, as we're probably going to see Fezandipiti off of this Ultra Ball to get something going for my opponent. So if they do manage to find like Crispin and they attack me, oh my gosh, please no. Please no. No shot. No shot you have Crispin again. Raw. Please no. Please. I'm imploring you to not have. No. What is this? This is unreal. This is absolutely unreal. My opponent has not used Noctowl at all and has had every single possible card he needed at the exact right time in the exact right combination. And I priced the Neo Upper Energy as well, so that delayed the knock. Alright, well, this is, I mean, they're going down to 1 price card. This is obviously a concession. I mean, I'm sure that's every video I make with gameplay. That's definitely something I didn't miss. People attacking me and flaming me and whatnot just because I lost a game. So sure, have at it. YouTube comments, what did I do wrong in these couple of games which I lost? Yeah, I'm sure there will be many experts telling me exactly where I went wrong and doing it in a very non-friendly way, but such is the life of the YouTuber, right? Thanks so much for watching. I tried my best. I generally tried my best with these 2 games and I just couldn't. Yeah, it is what it is. Losing is part of the game, and if I just only show wins, then we can't see when things go wrong as well, right? But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.